Oh my god, we finally have a Pokemon fighting game. This is something I waited for so many years. I mean, finally I can become the best, like no one ever was. Can you just imagine it? I can.
Okay, as we all can see, the graphics could have been a bit better, but considering that there's over 100 playable characters, I say it's okay. You know, the Wii U Master Race. Oh. I highly doubt that I am the only one who wanted a more action-oriented Pokemon game when playing Pokemon Stadium on the N64, and lo and behold, 18 years later, here it is, Pokkén Tournament. As always, the story is something I talk about first in my reviews of fighting games, and after the lack of one in Street Fighter V, I dearly hoped that I would get one here, which I did. Only to quickly realize that just having a story just for the sake of it is really not worth it, as that's exactly what it feels like here in Pokkén, that it was just added, just for the sake of it. The story is really weak, but that doesn't stop it from holding the record in the amount of opponents you have to cleave through. Like seriously, no fighter out there has the same amount of battles in their story mode that this one brings to the table, and that is because the narrative is about you and your selected Pokemon going through the Ferrum League, going from being the very worst to the best. While climbing the ranks, however, you will meet the mysterious Shadow Mewtwo, who is pretty overpowered. So you need to find out why Mewtwo is in this shadowy form while climbing up the league ranks. So the story is not really that interesting, but you know, it's there, and it's an optional one, it's an optional mode, so you know, it's always good, right? No, there's a huge problem, one that will annoy you as it really did me. You can only unlock support Pokemon. I will come back to that later what they are, but understand that they're really important to the gameplay. Customization objects for your avatar, money to buy the stuff, as it will take a really long time to accumulate the money you get there in, you know, online mode. And 2 hidden characters. Now normally I love to unlock stuff in fighting games, but oh my god! It was so annoying here. The best way to describe this mode is that it feels like a grind. The story is not interesting, and it doesn't really kick in until the very end of the league, and before that you will face the same boss twice. But what really makes it feel like a grind is how it's made. The Ferrum League works like this. There are 5 leagues, D to Chroma, and in all of them there are several trainers. When you start in one of them, you will be at the very bottom, and you have to work yourself up the ladder. So you need to get up to the top 8 ranks in the specific league. When that happens, you will be in a tournament where the winner will take on the League Master, who will promote you to the next rank. It sounds okay, I guess, but the thing is, it takes such a long time to get to top 8, so you'll have to go through 5 battles each time you head into the league match mode, where you increase your rank, and this freaking model is lying to you. It shouldn't look like this, it should look like this. In the D League there will be 40 combatants. You won't have to face all of them, but it means that you will start on rank 40. After one league match set, you will most likely head up 15 to 20 ranks, so the first league goes by pretty fast. But the Chroma League has like 90 of them, and there are times you only head up 10, or maybe even less. I finished the story with what seems like almost 200 matches, and trust me, with only 16 fighters in this game, I got tired. You will not play offline anymore if you finish the story mode in one sitting, which you actually want since it gives you so much customization, support Pokemon, and other stuff. And that's the biggest fault of this game, the story mode. Now the game does have a single player experience, but I will not revisit it in my life. And it doesn't really help that you can only play through the story with one fighter. Well, actually you can change it, but then you have to go to the area My Town. But the thing is that you can level up each individual Pokemon, so it doesn't really feel that smart to change them. Now on a positive note, you will be really good with your choice of fighter, that is to be sure. But if there's one thing I can say that is a thing to applaud for in the story mode, it is the, you know, the fantastic voice acting.
If you can defeat me, I'll let you move up into C rank. Show me what you can do.
Oh my god. I highly recommend turning the voices over to Japanese, since you can't really tell if it's good or bad voice work. Unless you're Japanese, that is. Oh, and another thing you should do is head over to My Town, which is where you customize your avatar, choose your main Pokemon and support Pokemon, and make Nia, who is pretty much your guide throughout the game, shut up by turning her off. She will not be quiet in the entirety of the game, offline or online.
Great battle! Good work! Your battles are fun, even just watching. You earned a new title! You earned a new title! You earned a new title! You earned a new title!
But that is the story. Pretty much tons of fights and sometimes a little conversation that slowly moves the plot along. But the only reason I was able to get through this travesty of a grind was because of the gameplay, which is really fun. Pokkén Tournament was created by the people behind Tekken, hence the similar names, though that does not make it a copy with only characters from the Pokémon franchise. No, this fighter has gotten its own identity for its main mechanic called the phase shifts. Phase shifts happen in the middle of battle, and it is divided into two parts, field phase and duel phase. Field phase is when you have full movement around the arena, and the combat is more based on ranged attacks rather than close quarter combat like a regular fighter, which is what duel phase is directed toward. Your moves are different between the phases, so you need to learn them. There is also a burst mode that will make some Pokemon Mega Evolve and give some others some boosts. You will get some buffs and also a single use strong attack called the burst attack. The buttons are separated into weak attack, heavy attack, a special attack which is different from Pokemon to Pokemon. For example, Machamp can buff himself up to get some different properties for his abilities, and Gardevoir can go into a stance to get some different moves, and a jump. Yes, a button for jumping. It will get some time to get used to, which can also be said about, the phase shifts. But the game has a tutorial which will really go in depth on how to do it, and it will really help you. And considering how easy the story mode is, everything will feel second nature after you're done with the ceiling. Now I will understand at a second when the phase shifts. It's just, I've adapted to it. But there's also another thing you need to be able to, learn by heart, and that is like a rock, paper, scissors kind of system. There's a lot of stuff to learn here, but it is a fighting game, and again, the story will ease into it, so no worries. Regular attacks beats grab.
That being said, they're not very effective against normal attacks.
Grabs beat counterattacks.
Grab attacks are always super effective against counterattacks.
And counterattacks beat regular attacks. If you grab someone who is trying to counterattack, your grab will take more damage than if they were blocking. However, if you try to grab your enemy and they just attack through it, their attack will take more damage than usual. Understand? It is pretty easy once you get the hang of it. Grabs can be done by pushing jump and regular attack at the same time, where counterattacks can be done by doing a special attack and heavy attack, and you can hold it down. Again, the tutorial will help you understand this system. Support Pokemon was something I mentioned earlier, and they are a part of the battle as, well, support. They are split into three categories: attack, which will do some damage to your enemy, disrupt, which might give the opponent a debuff, and enhance, who will heal you or give you a boost. And they come in pairs. You can only choose one pair for a match, but in between rounds you can choose which of them you want to use. Now, as I said, you get new supports by going through the story, but none of them feel overpowered as they all have different timers on when you can use them. However, I will say it is annoying that the more impressive support Pokemon have too long animations. I mean, look at this! Their entrance takes longer than their attack, and it feels like it puts the game to a pause as the matches are fast-paced. It is mostly a nitpick, but I found it annoying. So the gameplay, which is the most important aspect of any fighting game, actually any kind of game, is spot on. Like, it's really good. There's a bit of a learning curve at the beginning, with the phase shift, the RPS stuff, but, again, if you go through the story a bit, as far as you really can, and, really want to, it will be engraved into your mind. Now, after the story, after I sat through played through the story, I went to the online and I floored people. So I got really good at it, just playing through the story, the offline. On ranked, I got a 7-win streak, my first 7 matches. And, on friendly matches, I got 11 win streaks. Now, what can I say about the online? The online has been one smooth experience for me so far, and from what I've read around the internet, I am not the only one who has enjoyed it. I have yet to get one laggy match, and just so you know, my first game were with people from Japan, so yeah. Good distance with good connections. There was once I got disconnected from a match, yet strangely it didn't lag once before it abruptly ended, so yay! And this game has the greatest matchmaking system I've ever seen in any game ever. I never had to wait more than 5 seconds to find another match, I swear to whatever you hold there. You see how that says that if it doesn't find a match for you in 10 seconds, you will get into a CPU match? Never happened to me. Always meet people after the 4th second of the timer, and I love it. So seriously, the online, 10 out of 10, bravo! And I haven't seen any consistent use of a single fighter, which I see in so many other fighting games.
Who are you? I've never seen a Pokemon suddenly appear and attack like that. Witness.
That's all I can say about the online. I suppose I could, I mean, it would be nice with more modes. You know, it feels kind of stale compared to some other fighters. There is no, you know, tournament, rooms, King of the Hill or stuff like that. It's just ranked and friendly. So I really cross my fingers that they will add something, you know, to the game on that front. And speaking of front, how does the game look and sound? The game sounds great. The soundtrack truly is something to take a listen to. I highly recommend searching up the Magikarp Festival theme and the Haunted Mansion one. They really are great tunes. The artists really knew what they were doing. The visuals, however, are a mixed bag. The playable and support Pokemon look great, all have small little details and shadows, but holy F is the background characters disgusting. Look at the people. They're not people. I mean Sabrina's toy box. They look completely ass. If they were to be converted into sound, it would be like...
I can't wait to see how far you can go.
Yeah, that. I know it is in the background, and when you're in fighting you won't notice, but that doesn't excuse this. And when the animations of some of these background beings look like this, it really takes me out of this world. Good thing that there are tons of stages, which are different in how big they are and even what shape they appear in, which will change the strategy you'll use, as some Pokemon are better far distance than close. Pokkén Tournament is a game I've been waiting for a long time. Yes, it does have its problems with a grindy story mode and how it's not interesting and how you need to play through it to unlock everything. The horrible background characters, but with all the customization options for your avatar and guide, the fun gameplay where each Pokemon feels different in each phases, the superb netcode, the positives heavily outweighs the negatives. And that's why this game, Pokkén Tournament, gets a 7 out of 10. It would have gotten a higher score had, you know, the story not been as horrible as it is. The backgrounds, you know, the battlefield's been a bit better. More modes to the online, but still a 7 is a good game on my scale. It's a well above average game. It's a great game. But anyway, I'm KingJGrim, or the King of Games, whatever you prefer, and I'll see you guys next time.
Are you okay?
Shut up!